Today, Dr. Alan Whanger, who is a longtime researcher on the Shroud of Turin, and he presented a landmark presentation on the Shroud at the 2005 Dallas Convention on Shroud research, and in regards to the carbon dating sample that was cut in 1988, Dr. Whanger has presented some extremely important information, and we know that in 2005 thermal chemist Ray Rogers pretty much proved conclusively that the corner cut for carbon-14 dating was in fact a medieval reweave, and what Dr. Whanger has provided is some additional evidence to support that. So, Dr. Whanger, let me give you this microphone.
Thank you. In our years of study of the Shroud, we feel by a variety of determinations that the Shroud originated in the spring of 30 AD in Israel. So we knew that the carbon dating was totally erroneous. The question is, how in the world did they wind up with such a wrong date? Actually, in 1989, we got videos of them taking the sample, and at that point, it is apparent that they were taken for a reweaved portion of the Shroud, but we didn't have evidence until a couple of years ago. We had obtained the X-ray studies that were done in the Shroud in 1978, and we studied them. This is of the corner where they took the carbon dating. There's a piece missing from the Shroud, as we see here. There's a piece missing here, and this is the corner where the carbon dating specimen was taken. There's a seam that runs the full length of the Shroud there. And we'd like to look more closely down at the area where the specimen was taken from, down at this area. These are close-ups of the X-ray studies that were done, and so that you can actually see the individual threads on the X-ray here. The carbon dating specimen was taken from this area right in here. There was a little piece taken from this area right here called the raised sample, and so that we see that missing. This is the backing cloth here. But we can see very plainly in this area where the carbon dating specimen was taken from that we see many thickened threads. There's a very irregular pattern here, both in the horizontal and the vertical threads in the specimen here. On the enlargement of that, we can see this more clearly, that there are a number of broken threads in here. As we follow through over here, we see that again there's abnormal thickening of the threads. This is on the far corner is the normal appearance of the Shroud. So this shows very clearly from the X-ray evidence that there are abnormal threads in this area where they took the specimen from. Interestingly, this shows the specimen that was taken. The only single specimen was taken. 3 pieces were taken off of that, and so 3 labs did the same test on the same specimen here. In our overlay techniques, we've compared that's area with the rewoven part of the Shroud, and we showed conclusively that these specimens were entirely taken from in this rewoven area. The amount of reweaving is variable in that area, so we get different results from the different specimens, because this specimen was not only not homogeneous, but it included mostly what is probably 16th century dyed cotton fibers cleverly interwoven with the linen fibers on the Shroud. So the testing is completely invalidated the 1988 carbon dating result, because it's done mostly on 16th century rewoven material.